So overnight, the Iranian regime firing on at least 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. These are tanker ships. They're not military vessels, complicating the shaky ceasefire that was supposed to end today and now extended by President Trump as the blockade remains in effect. Our next guest worked for 5 presidents as a mediator and had a key role on the Iran nuclear negotiations, former Ambassador Dennis Ross. And I would say he knows as much about the Iran regime as any American. Ambassador, why do you think these talks are not taking place? Why do you think that delegation chose not to show up in Pakistan on the Iranian side?
I do think there's a real factional division, and that the RGC-dominated leadership right now believes the time is on their side. They think they can absorb the costs better than we can absorb the costs, and at this point, they feel if they hold out, they will have to give up less in these negotiations. So I think at this point, it's a test of us. The right answer to that test is to preserve the blockade. The blockade is an answer to what they're doing in terms of trying to exert their leverage over the Strait of Hormuz. And let's not underestimate the impact of a leadership dominated by those who are really ideological and who think that any concession at this point actually detracts from that ideology and reduces the following they have among those who are also the most ideologically committed.
So when they talk about a fracture between the political wing and the IRGC, it's real, but sometimes they use that, and they used it 11 years ago with you, saying, hey, my hands are tied, I got these radicals over here, and they like to use that.
Look, it can be both true and at the same time something they used to manipulate. You know, I wasn't in those negotiations, but it was very clear to me from people who were that Zarif would always come in. He was then the foreign minister. He would always come in and say, look, I don't have a choice. Supreme Leader has said the following, this is what I'm up against with the Revolutionary Guard. So the divisions can be real, but they can also be exploited in the talks. We're seeing something that is real, but also is useful from the standpoint of the most hard line, that they think they can get a better deal and they can give up less in the process.
So, Ambassador, who has time on their side?
Well, a lot depends upon how much we can absorb the pain. You know, Brian, from the beginning, I thought we had to have the blockade because that was the best way to put real pressure on them. The blockade, however, does impose a real price on the rest of the world. If this is going to be resolved at some point, it has to be understood. The point that the leverage we have on them is the blockade. The leverage they have, which they didn't exercise before, is being able to keep the blockade, is being able to keep the straits closed. However this ends, the one thing that the Iranians will have to understand, including the Revolutionary Guard, if they ever try to reestablish control over the straits again, there will be a blockade. That's the only way to deny them the revenues. Ultimately they can't function without the revenues. That's the key counterpoint that we have on them at this point.
And the one thing you said about the president, the language that shows anger, they look as weakness. Is that how you see it?
They see it as desperation. So the more he threatens civilization, they see that as a sign of desperation that he needs to have it over. We need to understand at this point, they're the ones who believe that the time is on their side. We have to be able to prove to them that it's not.
Right. And we've killed so many of their leaders, it's hard to really know if who's jockeying for position and who's actually trying to get to a deal and who wants to fight again. Ambassador Dennis Ross, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.